Hare Janmanamapi Yashati Putram Atra Surupam Rupam Tasya Gajamuri Purim Maturim Goshtuvatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Ahoradika Madhavasam Prabhu Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Guru Tam Natosu Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Itadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Hemabhativyacchavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Veda Aparana Lakshe Chivkasta Kamaritaranka Mandi Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charanara Vindam Brinde Namaste Charanara Vindam Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Hey Krishna Hey Adava Hey Saketi Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Sham Sundar Sikanda Shika Smaha Samurali Manohara Radhika Rasika Mama Kripanidhe Swapriya Charana Kinkurim Kuru Tavaivasmi Najivami Tayavana Iti Vikyaya Devi Tam Namam Charanantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmatiya Paramaratattama Guru Pada Padma, Nitya-lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Satashisimad, Rupanugacharya Varya, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Panchakalpatarupascha Kripa Jai Srila Gurudeva ki Haribo. Yes, so it's yes. Hold his, someone hold his hands. Someone hold his hands. Jai Ho. Don't give two at the same time, so that we can honor each one by one. by the causeless mercy of Sri Guru and Gauranga, today we are observing the most auspicious occasion. Sri Baladeva-Purnima ki jai! Sri Baladev Prabhu ki jai! You know that in Srimad Bhagavatam, there it is described, Eite changsa kalapungsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam. This is the Paribhasa Sutra of the Srimad Bhagavatam, without which you cannot understand Srimad Bhagavatam. The meaning is that there are unlimited incarnations, expansions of the Supreme Lord and expansions of the Supreme Lord. But Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the origin of all. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavan Swayam. That original form of Krishna is called Swayam Roop. Swayam Roop. The significance of Swayam Roop is that Swayam means himself. So the significance is that the form of Bhagavan that does not depend on any other form for his opulence or for his sweetness, Aishwarya or Madhurya, that form is a Swayam Roop. In other words, whether it's Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha, who is dependent on Sri Krishna for his opulence, or whether it's Lord Nrsingadev, or we know that Krishna in Mathura is also sweet. Yet, sweetness depends on the sweetness of Krishna in Vrindavan. So whatever form of Bhagavan there is, their opulence and sweetness is only portions and portions of the complete Aishwarya, complete opulence, and complete Madhurya of Krishna in Vrindavan. Therefore, that original form of Krishna in Vrindavan, Gopa Vaishya Venukara Navakishore Natabara, eternally fresh teenager, a youth, with 2 hands, holding a flute in his hands, and dressed as a cowherd boy, he is the Swayam Roop, origin of all existence. So when that Sri Krishna expands himself, that Swayam Roop expands himself, that is called Swayam Prakash. So Swayam Prakash also has 2 aspects, Prabhav Prakash and Vaibhav Prakash. So Prabhav Prakash means that sweet and beautiful Krishna in Vrindavan expands himself into forms which are exactly like the form from which they have expanded. For example, during Rasa Leela, Krishna wanted to dance with all Brajagopis. So he expanded himself and also that Krishna is dancing only with me. So those many forms with which Krishna danced with all Braj Gopis, which are decorated in the same way, they are his Swayam Prakash. But which category? Prabhav Prakash. Prabhav Prakash. Prakash means expansion or illumination. And Prabhav means influence. The expansion of the influence of the Swayam Roop is Prabhav Prakash. Now one may question, why have another name for this Prabhav Prakash? Are they not all just many forms of a Swayam Roop? So, the profound Siddhanta here is that when Krishna is dancing with Radhika, that Krishna is Swayam Roop. And when he is dancing with all the others, Swayam Prakash, of the category Prabhav Prakash. Understand? Because Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shakti Man, Dui Vastu Bhed Nai Shastra Praman. Krishna is complete Shaktiman and Radhika is complete Shakti. But the Shaktiman is only complete when he has complete Shakti. So that Krishna who is with Radhika is Purna Shaktiman. And if you think he'll be Purna Shaktiman if he's with Chandravali, is that your philosophy? Therefore it's necessary for a category called Prabhav Prakash. Huh? Understand? So, the other aspect of Swayam Prakash is called Vaibhav Prakash. So Vaibhav means Vibhuti, opulence, or it can mean, Vaibhav can mean Vishesh, different. In other words, when Krishna expands himself with a different complexion or with a different emotional temperament. So either his duty or his bhav, his mood or his complexion are different, then that expansion of the Swayam Roop is called Vaibhav Prakash. So, for example, Krishna in Mathura and Krishna in Dwarka, in the eternal Dham, in the eternal Mathura, eternal Dwarka, there, though Krishna's complexion is the same, but his mood is different. There, he thinks, I am son of Vasudeva and Devaki, I am Kshatriya, or in Dwarka, I am the husband of Rukmini, Satyabhama, and so on. So that expansion of Krishna is his Vaibhav Prakash. But Krishna also has a Vaibhav Prakash in Braja. And that is Baladev Prabhu. When Sri Krishna himself has a different complexion, instead of being Sham, is fair. Instead of being dark, he has a fair complexion. Like a new moon. And instead of having the Abhiman of Sevya Abhiman, I am the Rasa Vishaya, the object of all rasa. Everyone should serve me. In this way we all relish rasa. So instead of having the Sevya Abhiman, he has Sevaka Abhiman. He wants to serve Krishna. Krishna, in the mood of his first and prominent servant, Krishna himself expanded as his own servant. Then that is called Vaibhav Prakash, because his bhav is different and his complexion is different. So Krishna's first Vaibhav Prakash in Braj is Balaram Prabhu. Now Balaram, he is also Bhagavan, he is also the Supreme Lord. So when he is in the association of his devotees, he also has the Sevya Abhiman. But because Balaram Prabhu is not exactly our Ishtadev, our Ishtadev is Krishna, our Balaram who is in Krishna's Leela has a Sevya Abhiman to our Krishna. like that. Sevaka, yes, Sevaka Abhiman, yes. Thank you. So, how is this Sevaka Abhiman of Balaram? He wants to serve in every way possible. And so, Balaram has become the Dham, Vrindavan. So Balaram has become the playground of Sri Krishna. He becomes the ornaments of Krishna. Krishna's asan, vasan, bhushan, chamar. He becomes his seat, his earrings, his ornaments, the chamara with which he is served. In fact, all the paraphernalia for serving Krishna is all a manifestation of Balaram in Shantabhav. Just like the tray on which we keep the arti paraphernalia, the holder for the candles and the incense and everything. It's all the paraphernalia for serving Krishna. Krishna's clothing and ornaments. Balaram is manifesting everything. And he does that in every realm of existence, from top to bottom. He became Vrindavan Dham and all the paraphernalia for service there. Then Balaram expands, becomes Sankarshan in Mathura and manifests Mathura Dham and becomes all the paraphernalia there. Then he manifests as Sankarshan Balaram in Dwarka. He manifests Dwarka and all the paraphernalia there. Then he becomes Sankarshan in the second Chaturvyu. The first Chaturvyu is in Dwarka. Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. And in the second Chaturvyuha, quadruple expansion, Sankarshan of Vaikuntha, he manifests all Vaikuntha. And there he becomes Asan, Vasan, Bhushan, Chatra, Paduka. Krishna's, that means Lord Narayan's shoes, his Brahmin thread, his bed, his umbrella, everything. And then from that first Sankarshan in Dwarka is the Mool Sankarshan, then Sankarshan in Vaikuntha is Maha Sankarshan. From that Maha Sankarshan comes Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu manifests all the universes, this Devi Dham. And then enters into each one of the universes as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And then he expands as Paramatma. So these are all the expansions of Balaram Prabhu. Then, from Paramatma comes what? Jiva Goswami said in Bhakti Sandhava, Paramatma Vaibhava. Who are the Vaibhav Prakash of Paramatma? Jivas. Every soul. They are Vibhin Angsa Tattva, separated subjective portions. They are the Vaibhav of Paramatma. And so, the Paramatma is the form of Balaram in which he manifests unlimited jivas. For what purpose? We are all the paraphernalia of Krishna's service. You are thinking, what's this Baladev Purnima? What does this have to do with me? Now you know. You exist because Balaram's expansion has manifested you as the paraphernalia for Krishna's service. No need to go to the university careers advice officer to find out, oh, what's my purpose in life? Should I be a lawyer or a photographer? No, this is not who you are, what you are, where you are. You are manifested by the mercy of Balaram Prabhu as a paraphernalia for Krishna's loving service. So then, after the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu Paramatma, then at the bottom of the universe he expands and becomes Shesh. Shesh means the remainder. He already did every service from top to bottom in all the spiritual world, all the material worlds, and down to the bottom of the universe there is Shesh, the remainder. Whatever's left over, that's the service he does. Shesh, the remainder. So, Krishna is Sheshai-Tattva. You know, in Braj you can go to that place, Sheshai. And Balarama is the Shesh-Tattva. So as Krishna expands, however Krishna expands, the Sheshai-Tattva expands along with him to serve him in every way. Not only is he serving throughout all the realms, but Balaram Prabhu is serving in all the rasas also. Ashanta, we have mentioned. And then Balaram himself in Braja. He is, there are 4 types of sakhas. The first category, they are called Surit. They are older than Krishna, like Mandalibhadra. And because they are older than Krishna, they have some Vatsalya bhav towards him. So basically they are in Sakya Rasa, but their Sakya Rasa has a touch, their Sakya Rati has a touch of Vatsalya Rati. So they are called Surit. So they are always very protective of Krishna. If suddenly they hear a roaring sound and a darkness is coming, then they jump up with their weapons and stand on all sides of Krishna to protect him. Then one of the sakhas will say, "Oh Mandalibhadra, calm down, put down your weapons. This is not Aristasur attacking Vrindavan, it's just a thundercloud on the mountain." But they're ready at any moment to jump up and stand around Krishna with their weapons and protect him. So then after Surit, the next category of Sakha, they're just called Sakha. They're like Vishal Sakha and Devaprastha. These boys are younger. So the younger boys, they have Sakya, but some dasya is mixed in. So they always like to make a bed of flower petals for Krishna. And then when he lies down to rest after wrestling and playing so much, they massage his feet and fan him. Like that. So then the last 2 categories of Sakha, they are called Priya Sakha and Priya Narma Sakha. So their Rati is pure Sakya. That's called Kevala Rati. If you have a Sthai Bhav, which is pure, not mixed with anything else, it's called Kevala Rati. But if your Sthai Bhav is mixed with a Rati of not in one of the Ratis, like Shantadasya, Sakya, Vatsalya or Madhurya, but mixed with one, but with others mixed in, then that is called Sankula Rati. Sankula means pressed together or congested. There. So you have more than one mood and another one squeezed in there also. But it will manifest according to the circumstance. It's not that all these moods are manifest at the same time. It depends on the circumstances. Then the moods will take turns. So, those who are called Priya Sakha, they are like Vitanka, Pundarik and Kalabinka. Their Sakhas have good nice names. Oh, Stoka Krishna also. And Sridham also. Radharani's brother, he's a Priya Sakha. So Sridham, Stoka Krishna, Pundarik and Kalabinka. So they are more, not older, not younger, they're contemporary, same age as Krishna. So they please him by wrestling with him, fighting with him, arm wrestling with him, things like that, climbing trees together, playing. They have so many games, with fruits. They get a big fruit and one of the sakhas throws it in the air and then the others all get their small fruit and try to hit it while it's in the air. And when they do a game like this, they never do a game without making a bet first. And there should be a wager first. Otherwise it's not so exciting because there's nothing to win or lose. So there should be, in all these games, there has to be something to win or lose. Then it becomes more competitive. So those who have equal age, they like to compete and betting, and they always bet on every type of game. So then last one, they are Priyanama Sakhas. So Priyanama Sakhas, they may be same age and some are even younger actually. So here for the Priyanama Sakhas, the speciality is not dependent on age, but it's dependent on a Vishesh Bhav, a special type of love that they have for Krishna. That is Atyantika Rahasyagya Sakibhava Samavrita. That their mood as cowherd boy friends of Krishna is covered by Sakibhav. So here Sakibhav doesn't mean that they think they are girls, that they have some gender identity disorder or anything. It means that Atyantika Rahasyagya, because they know something, they are privy, they know something about Krishna's pastimes with gopis. Their mood of wanting to play with Krishna, like the other sakas, is covered over with the mood of only feeling happiness if Krishna will meet with his cowherd girlfriends. So here the meaning of Sakhi Bhav is Anumodatmak Bhav. Anumodatmak. That they don't feel the happiness of directly playing with Krishna, but they feel the happiness that follows Krishna's happiness when he meets with Braja Gopis. So that is called Anumodatmak Rasa. Now, of these four types of sakas, Surit, Sakha, Priya Saka, and Priyanama Saka. Oh, the Priyanama Sakas are who?
Subal.
Madhumangal, Subal, Ujjwal. Yes. So, of these four types of sakas, which type is Balaram Prabhu?
Surit.
Yes, Surit. Balaram is famous among Surit Saka as being somewhat older, having Vatsalya Ras. So, he also sometimes Balaram goes into Dasya-bhav. Actually, that's common. That's to all rasas. Krishna Prema Eka Adbhuta Prabhav Guru Samulagu Ke Karaye Dasya Bhav. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, Krishna Prem Ek Adbhut Prabhav. Krishna Prem has one astonishing influence, and that is Guru Sama Laguke. Those who are senior to Krishna, or the same as Krishna, or Lagu, less than Krishna, seniors, equals and juniors, all experience Dasya Bhav. As a result of Prem. For example, when Krishna expanded himself and became all the calves and cowherd boys during the Brahma Vimohan Leela, when Lord Brahma tried to steal them away. So on that day, Balaram, it was actually his birth nakshatra. That means it was the stellar constellation which corresponded to the day he was born on. Not his birthday, but that nakshatra, that stellar constellation, comes around once every month. So on that day, he couldn't go to take the cows to graze. He had to stay at home and give charity to the brahmanas, feed cows, have an abhishek. It's like a small birthday party that happens every month. If it were his actual birthday, then Krishna could not go because it would be a big celebration. He would have to stay back. But because it was only his monthly birth nakshatra, Krishna went to the forest with the friends. Balaram stayed at home. So when Brahmas tried to steal the calves and the boys, Krishna expanded and became all of them. And for almost 1 year, Balaram was not aware that all these boys and calves were Krishna. He didn't know. Then one day, when he saw that the cows on the top of Govardhan, leaving behind their calves which are newly born, ran away from the newly born cows and came down the valley to give affection to the calves which were born 1 year earlier. Now, cows never do that. They never abandon the newly born one to go to the older calf. Right? It never happens. So, when Balaram saw that happening, he thought, wait, what's this? How can that be possible? That's not normal. Why did this question come in his mind? Because actually, these kinds of things had been going on for almost a year. Balaram saw, every day he saw, that the mothers who used to love Krishna more than their own children were now loving their own children as much as they love Krishna. He saw it, but it never made him think. He saw the calves the cows were giving more love to the elder cows. But on this particular day, almost a year later, he saw it and the question came in his mind. This is not normal. What's going on? Why? Because Balaram had been covered for 1 year by Yogamaya, the Leela Shakti. But on this day, 1/4 of the Leela Shakti withdrew. And when he became uncovered by 1/4 of the Leela Shakti, then a question came in his mind. What's going on? You see? So Mahamaya also works like this with the conditioned souls. When you're completely in Mahamaya, completely in illusion, that time you walk around, you notice that everyone's growing old, their teeth are falling out, their hair is going white, and then they, get diseases and they suffer for years and die, and you think, so what? The question doesn't even come, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Maybe, what's going on? Why is this world like this? Why is the world full of suffering? You don't even think, because it's completely covered by Maya, even the questions don't come in the mind. But, when by the mercy of Vaishnavas, one accumulates some sukriti, or even little bit, when even the rise of Sattva Gun will bring about some inquisitiveness, because some Tattva Gyan can start to appear due to Sattva Gun. So when the heavy portion of Maya, Tamas and Rajas is going away, then the question, one thinks, why am I here? What is life about? So in a similar way, not exactly the same way, because Balaram is Bhagavan himself, but he was completely covered by Yogamaya, 1/4 withdrew, and then the question came, hey, what's going on? Something must be going on. But he couldn't understand what. So then another 1/4 of Yogamaya withdrew. And then Balaram thought, it must be someone's mystic power doing this. Perhaps it's some demigod, or some powerful rishi, or yaksha. And then another 1/4 of Yogamaya withdrew. So now he was only 50% covered by Yogamaya. So then he thought in his mind, no, it can't be a demigod, it can't be a rishi, it can't be a yaksha, or anything. Because no rishi, demigod can overpower me. I would understand what they're up to. But still he couldn't figure out what was going on. Then the last 1/4 of Yogamaya disappeared. And then he looked at Krishna. It's you. You're doing this. Why didn't you tell me? Krishna said to Balaram, because I know you have so much love for Sridham, that if I came home from the forest without him, you'd feel so much separation, and you would cry. So I expanded myself, became all the boys to protect you from the separation. So this is the loving relationship between Krishna. But that time, Balaram said to Krishna, oh my Prabhu, why did you tell me? So now Balaram will not call Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu is an address in Dasya Bhav. Yes. In Dasya Ras you can tell this title Prabhu. So why did Balaram do that? Because he felt great humility. He felt that, why is it that my brother didn't feel that he could confide in me what was going on? And therefore a wave of Dainya Bhav, humility, overwhelmed Balaram, and for a moment his Sakyaras became overwhelmed by Dasyaras. And he said, oh Prabhu. So it's not that he wasn't in Sakyaras, but he was in Sakyaras, but with an extraordinary Sanchari Bhav of humility, which made him speak as if he were a Das. But we cannot tell that he's in Dasyaras. It's just like when Krishna disappeared from Radharani in Rasalila. Then what did she say? Hanata Ramana Preshta Kwasi Mahabhuja Dasyaste Kripanayane Sakke Dashya Sannidhi. In the morning time, in the Kunj, when Radharani wakes up, she can tell, Krishna, comb my hair. decorate my feet. Madhurya Rasa. But when Krishna abandoned Radhika in the Rasa Leela, then due to the intensity of her humility, then she said, Sister, I am your maidservant. Please appear to me, let me see you again. So Balaram serves in the form of so many ornaments in Shantabhav, in Dasyabhav, when his humility comes, and in Sakyaras, that is his main rasa. But because he's a Surit Saka, he serves in Sakya with Vatsalya mixed in. And in Madhurya Rasa, his Shakti is Ananga Manjari, the younger sister of Radharani. So in all the rasas and in all the realms, Balaram is serving. And that is why it is said, Balaram is Akhanda Guru Tattva. Akhanda Guru Tattva. Akhanda means not in parts or fragments. So many gurus, great personalities are here and there, in this world and beyond this world, in the higher planets, teaching their disciples. So they are the Vyasti Guru Tattva, Vyasti individual gurus. But each individual guru is a manifestation of the power of the Samasti Guru, the original Guru. Akhanda means the unbroken, undivided sum total of all Guru Tattva. That is Balaram. So because Balaram is the Supreme Lord himself in the mood of his own servant, therefore he is the Adi Guru, the original Guru Tattva, Akhanda Guru Tattva. So whenever there's a Guru, spiritual teacher in this world, then it means that that Vaishnava is empowered by Balaram's potency to deliver those jivas who have taken shelter of him. Krishna's Vigraha, Krishna's form is Sachidananda Vigraha. So his Swarup Shakti, the manifestation of his potency of his Swarup, and it has three vrittis, Sandini Shakti, Sambit Shakti, and Sandini Vritti, Sambit Vritti, and Ladini Vritti. First one Sat, existence, then Sambit, Chit, consciousness, and last one Ladini or Ananda, joy. So Balaram Prabhu is the Adistatri Devata, the predominating deity of Sandini Shakti, the existence potency, eternal existence. Therefore from him manifests the Dham, the existence of the spiritual world. So the living entities in this world, their chitta, their psychological body is completely disturbed by the gunas. So they are not fixed. Their pragya, their consciousness is called astita. Not astita means fixed, so they astita pragya, not fixed consciousness. So all material desires, all material attachments, all dualities, all illusion, all bodily conception, everything comes from one thing, astita pragya, that our consciousness is not fixed. It's always oscillating by the influence of Rajagun. So Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Prajati yada kaman sarvam pata manogatam atmanena atmana tushtas stita pragyas tad uchate. One is called stita pragya when he is satisfied, Atma is satisfied in the Atma. When the soul is satisfied in himself, he is called stita pragya, and he is prajati yada kaman. He has given up all desires, all kam, which is born from the mind, which is astita. So as soon as it becomes stita pragya, then no desires, no attachments. Like that. So if you want to enter into pure bhakti, what is uttama bhakti?
Anya vilashita shunyam yana karma yanavritam anukulena krishnanu shilanam bhakti uttam.
Yes. Anyabhilashta shunyam. Uttam Bhakti begins from no trace whatsoever of any material desire. That's where it starts from. Uttam Bhakti. Uttam Bhakti has three parts: sadhan bhakti, practice; bhav bhakti, ecstatic mood; and prem, pure love. So, these are the three divisions of Uttama Bhakti. So don't think that Uttama Bhakti begins from Ado Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Nata Nivriti. Uttama Bhakti or Sadhana Bhakti doesn't start from there. If you have faith, but you have anarthas, many anarthas, then how can you be anyabhilasta shunyam? Not possible. So then, in the stages of Sadhu Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivriti, then we are not in the category of Uttam Bhakti. That means we are not in the category of Sadhan Bhakti, because Sadhan Bhakti is the first part of Uttama Bhakti. So Bhajana Kriya, Srila Vishnu Thakur in Madhurya Kadambini, he says, Bhajana Kriya matram natu bhajanam. Means this Bhajana Kriya means just the activities of service, not actual service. Only doing the kriyas. Getting your arms and legs and your mouth and eyes and trying to engage them. But not actually bhajan. Bhajana Kriya matra. So, if we want to enter into Uttama Bhakti, actual sadhana bhakti, then we'll have to become astita pragya. But when we try again and again, I'm going to control my mind, today I'll definitely control it. Then what happens? Just like today is a Purnima. So at Purnima, especially those who are prone to be a little bit mentally unstable, they become extra cuckoo. Right? At the full moon time. But today, actually just now, is not only Purnima, full moon, but right now is also eclipse. So if you have the tendency to be quite pronounced astita pragya, then in the last few days, leading up to today and the next few days also, but it will peak today. You'll become extra astita pragya. Ati astita pragya. So be careful. If you are not so stable, you'll be extra unstable in these last few days, and especially tonight and tomorrow, because of the influence of the eclipse and the Purnima. So the problem is, the living entities, because the jiva is anu, very minute, and the maya is vast and incredibly powerful. Therefore, when the jiva tries to control his mind and senses and desires, cannot do it. He needs to be stabilized. So the nature of the material energy is rajas is there. That means everything changing, moving. So there's no pure sattva gun in the material world. Always some rajas is there. So what we need, in order to enter into pure bhakti, anyabhilasta shunyam, real sadhana bhakti, then we need some stabilizing influence. Something which is not moved by the influence of rajas and time in the material world. So that is Krishna's Sandhini Shakti. And Balaram Prabhu, being the Adhistatri Devata, the predominating deity of Sandhini Shakti, he is the one who grants that potency to the living being. And therefore Balaram is called the Akhanda Guru Tattva, the original Guru Tattva. So when his power appears in this world in the form of our Gurudev, the spiritual master, first we do Guru Pada Shrai, we take shelter there, and then we receive initiation, and we serve as much as we can. And the more we conform our desire to the desire of our Gurudev, then to that degree there is a gradual transference of Sandhini Shakti. And as we become stabilized by the Sandhini Shakti, then we become Sthita Pragya and fixed in consciousness, and anyabhilashta shunyam, free from all worldly desires, attachments, bewilderments, duality, and so on. And we can enter into pure bhakti. And this is why, without the shelter of Guru, there's no entrance into bhakti. The first 20 angas of bhakti, there are 64 angas, the first 20 are called pravesh dwara, the door to enter. And so the first one is Guru Padashray, then Diksha, initiation, then Guru Sevan, serving Guru, Sadhama Pritcha Shiksha, asking questions. Because if you ask questions, but you have no spiritual potencies coming to you, you can't understand the answers. So the Guru doesn't only give you the answers to the questions. You have to serve Guru to receive the internal conscious platform to receive the answers. Understand? If a disciple is not serving, he can ask a question and the Guru will answer, but the disciple has no place to catch the answer. Because there's no Sandhini Shakti there. Therefore Krishna said, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadiksanti te gyanam gyanas tattvadashina. One should learn the truth by approaching the spiritual master, bowing down submissively, rendering service and asking questions. Without service, then no Shakti. Without Shakti, the answers can come, but you cannot catch them. Therefore, in Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Srayam Uttamam Shabde Parichanisnatam Brahmani Upashamasrayam. What is the meaning? When a person, they realize that just trying to make money in this world is nityatidena, vittena. The vitta, the wealth of this world, is like death. Why? Your life is this long. And if you're interested in getting money, you have to spend most of that chasing after money. So what's the difference between money and death? Wealth and death. Death is that which takes your life. So striving for wealth is stealing your life. And then when you have that wealth, people are willing to kill you for it. And when you have that wealth, now you have your freedom and independence to do anything. You can go to Las Vegas, in the casino, Sin City. And then when you have money, you can enjoy, you try to enjoy sinful sense gratification. Also, because in this money there is a poison that turns your mind. The influence of Kali Yuga will come. You see, so whichever way, from so many perspectives, whichever way you look at it, money is like death. So don't worry about these things. So when a person understands that, and they give up the desire for the worldly wealth and enjoyment, but perhaps they want to enjoy in heaven. I'll give away all my money in charity so I can go to heaven. But that heaven is not the spiritual world. That is just just 2 planetary systems up from earth. That is Swargalok. So if you give in charity to poor people, you get good karma and you can go there. But then you find out that you cannot live there permanently either. And when your good karmas are pious, the reactions of pious activity have been exhausted there, then you have to come back down here again and you're back to square one where you started. So when you realize this physical worldly happiness is just suffering and death, and the happiness of the afterlife is also temporary and suffering at death, therefore, tasmad gurum prapadyeta, jigyasu srayam uttamam, then you will become a jigyasu, inquisitive. What is srayam uttamam? My uttam, that is beyond darkness, sraya, my prospect, my auspicious prospect beyond this world, srayam uttamam, you become jigyasu, inquisitive about that. What is my ultimate benefit? So that person, tasmad gurum prapadyeta, they do Guru Pad Ashray, take shelter of a spiritual master, because that is the only process by which we can discover our srayam uttamam, divine, transcendental, auspicious prospect. You become jigjasu for that, inquisitive. So a person who is not exclusively hankering to know about their ultimate soul's benefit, they don't need a guru. Guru is not required for them. No need to waste guru's time. They can go to any teacher of karma kanda or something like that and learn how to go to heaven or enjoy in this world. But if someone is inquisitive to know about the eternal ultimate benefit, then tasmad gurum prapadyeta jigyasu uttama. That's the qualification of the disciple. And the qualification of the guru? Shabdei parita nishnatam brahmani upasham asrayam. 3 qualifications of guru are mentioned here. Shabdei paricha nishnatam means Shabdei nishnatam, pare nishnatam. Nishnat means bathed. Abhisikta. You know, if you go in the shower and you turn on the water, no hot water will come. But you can at least do snan, you can take a bath. So you can be nishnata, bathed in refreshing mountain water. And you'll be purified, very sattvic from that tapasya. So, then you are nishnat, bathed. So that analogy is used for knowledge also. If a child is in Gurukul, when they graduate from the Gurukul, we just told there about how Krishna's graduation day. There in Shwaiban Alp festival, Bhakti festival, we discussed Krishna's graduation. So when the disciple graduates from the Gurukul, then the teacher does a abhishek of the disciple, and it is symbolic of now he's graduated, he's nishnat, he's bathed in knowledge. So in this verse it is said, 2 types of nishnat. Shabde parita nishnatam. To be bathed in Shabda means that you have learnt the teachings of the Vedas. You can recite the mantras of the Vedas. You can remember the teachings of Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads and so on. So then you are Shabde. Expert in Shastra. So that's the first qualification of Guru, expert in Shastra. But Paricha Nishnatam, you have to be, the spiritual master should be Paricha Nishnat also. That is bathed in the Pare, the transcendence. Because any person with a high IQ and sharp memory, they can memorize so much of the Shastra, many verses of Shastra. But Krishna instructed Uddhav, here this is like a parallel verse connected to this verse. Krishna said, Shabda Brahmani Nishnatam Na Nishnayet Pare Yadi Shramastasya Sramapalo Hyadenam Eva Rakshataha. A person may be Shabda Brahmani Nishnatam. They may be immersed in the teachings of the Vedas. They remember everything. But Na Nishnayet Pare Yadi. But they are not Pare Nishnat. They are not bathed in Anubhav, Anubhuti, realization of the Divya Aprakrita Bhagavat Swarup, the form of Sri Krishna. They are not realized. The form, qualities, associates, pastimes of Krishna. So, then, if one is only expert in the theoretical knowledge but he has no realization, then all the hard work to attain that knowledge, Sramastasya, that means Srama means hard work. Sramastasya, the hard work of that person, Shrama Phalo. The only fruit is the hard work itself. Hyadenam eva rakshataha. Exactly like working hard to keep a cow that is barren, has no calf and can give no milk. You're just working, and what do you get in return? Only your own perspiration. So, two qualities of Guru. First, Nishnat, bathed in the knowledge, the actual teachings of the Vedas, but also bathed in the realization of those teachings. And because the realization is there, Brahmanupashamasrayam means that the spiritual master is the shelter of peacefulness. Don't become upset. Don't become disturbed by any circumstance, any praise or criticism. You can see how peaceful you are. If someone criticizes you, then how do you feel? Where's my atom bomb? I want to nuke that person. Mushroom cloud over his house. So if we become disturbed by criticism, then we are not sthita prajna. Or same thing, praise as well. If someone praises you, oh Prabhu, your tilak is so straight. Then you start gushing like a milk boiling over. Someone praises us for anything that we say or do or how we look or anything. And then we feel, happiness. Like milk boiling over. Then this is asthita prajna. So, how can we become sthita prajna? Only by the mercy of Baladeva Prabhu. He's the predominating deity of Sandhini Shakti existence, and his power is manifest in the world in the form of Gurudev. So when we hear from Gurudev, we serve Gurudev, we take shelter, then gradually that potency comes to us, and then when we inquire, there's a place to receive those divine transcendental answers, realization. Therefore, Balarama Prabhu is the Akhanda Guru Tattva. So it is said, Radha Krishna Aichi Sada Ekai Swarup. Very nice. Radha Krishna are not two, they are one Swarup, but they have two bodies for the purpose of relishing rasa. So in the same way, Krishna and Balarama are not two, they are one. But they have two bodies for relishing Leela, different kind of Leela. Therefore, Jayadev Goswami said, Vahasi vapusi vishade vasanam jaladabam halahati biti milita yamunabam keshavadrita haladara rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Stova. Hare Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Haladara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Oh, glories to the Supreme Lord Keshav Krishna. He has assumed the form of Balaram, the holder of the plough. So in this way, from Tattva Vichar, from the point of view of philosophical principles, Krishna and Balaram, there's no difference. But from the point of view of Rasa Vichar, then there's a great difference. From Rasa Vichar, we have to forget that there's no difference between them. Otherwise, you become confused. Very confused. So we want to, now we begin discussing something about the pastimes of Balaram Prabhu. So we'll start today, but we cannot finish today. So we'll continue tomorrow. I'm getting strict instructions to put on my warm chada. So Balaram Prabhu, in Vrindavan, he's Krishna's brother. From childhood, in their Balya Lila and in their Pauganda Lila, Krishna and Balaram are inseparable. They always want to be together with each other. When Kishore Lila comes, then Krishna will make a little excuse to escape from Balaram's association. Pram drishta nivatate. To meet with Radhika and Braja Gopis. But in their babyhood, in their childhood, Krishna and Balaram, they are inseparable. Gopi bir stobito nrityad Bhagavan balavat kvachit Udgayati kvachin muktas tadvaso daruyantravat. One of the very great nectarian verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Gopi bir stobito nrityad. When Krishna and Balaram are little babies, then the Sakhis, the friends of Mother Yashoda, surround them. And they say to Krishna and Balaram, can you dance? We'll give you some makan, some butter if you'll dance. And they clap their hands and sing. And they make little baby Krishna and Balaram also dance and sing. How? Tadvaso daruyantravat. Baby Krishna and Balaram come under the control of the love of the elderly gopis of Vrindavan, daruyantravat. Like puppets. They're just like little puppets in the hands of the elderly gopis. Krishna and Balaram both. How sweet. Sometimes those elderly gopis will say, oh Balaram, who is stronger, you or Krishna? And Balaram will say, I am stronger. Krishna will say, I am stronger. So let's see who will win when you wrestle. And then baby Krishna and Balaram jump on each other. And they're rolling on the ground, pulling each other's hair. Sometimes Krishna is on the top and then rolling, sometimes Balaram is on the top. And some of the elderly gopis, they cheer, come on Balaram. And some of them cheer, come on Kanhaiya. Like this. And in this way, there's so much fun in the house of Yashoda when they're little babies. Krishna and Balaram, they're very attached to each other with deep love. So gradually, as Krishna became older, one day they were wandering in the forests of Kadirvan, and one demon came there. Who came in Kadirvan? Okay, that's it. You cannot delay any like this. You must come on Brajmandal Parikrama. How can you without doing Brajmandal Parikrama? At least every year. It's very difficult to make a strong sambandha with the dust of Braja. So in Kadirvan, there one demon came, Bakasur. He was a huge, like a duck. And when the boys saw him, they became afraid. And Bakasur, with his big beak, he began to poke at Krishna. And suddenly, he swallowed Krishna. And at once, seeing that Krishna had been swallowed, then the boys called out, Kayore, Kayore! Means he's been eaten, Kayore, Kayore. That's why that place is called Kadirvan. Also because of the trees, they're called Kadir trees. And the juice from the Kadir tree, with that, it's red, and you put it in the tambul. When you make tambul for Radha and Krishna. So when they chew it, their lips will become red. And so many other pastimes. So, in Kadirvan, there, Bakasur swallowed Krishna. And crying, Kayore, Kayore, the boys fell to the ground and fainted. Even Balaram fainted. Balaram fainted. So, that is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because Shukadev Goswami is highlighting the intense prem between Balaram and Krishna. Because even though Balaram is the predominating deity of Sandhini Shakti, he can never be disturbed by anything. He's Astita Pragya. If anyone is equally disposed in happiness and distress, loss and gain, victory and defeat, honor and dishonor, it's only by Balaram's mercy. But that Balaram becomes completely disturbed. So intensely that he faints and falls to the ground. Why? Prem. The power of Prem, his love for Krishna and Krishna's love for him. He forgets everything. He's empowered by Gyan Shakti, knowledge as well, but he forgets. He cannot think, oh, don't worry people, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he'll be back soon. Huh? Balaram just fainted there and then. But because, Bakasura, he's in avidya, ignorance. And therefore, even though Krishna is right in his mouth, he cannot taste how sweet Krishna is. Sat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapta Vidya Pito Patasya Rasanasna Rotikanu Kintuadanat Anu Dinam Kalusaiva Justa Swadri Bhavati Tad Gadamula Hantri. When a person has the jaundice of avidya, they cannot taste how sweet Krishna's Nam, Rupa, Guna, and even if Krishna actually goes inside your mouth, you won't be able to taste how sweet he is. Because of avidya. So Krishna tasted very hot and Bakasura was choking. And he coughed and Krishna came out again. And then Krishna grabbed the Bakasura by the beak and he split him like just as one would bifurcate a piece of grass. Then all the boys said, Kayore, Kayore. That means he ate him. Here eating is a poetic form, means he... Yeah. Like, in English we say, he owned him. Yeah, he was owned. Like that. That phrase is there. So, in the sense, Kayore, that means Krishna ate him. Finished him in a moment. And Balaram came back to consciousness. So, now, just see how wonderful is the Leela Shakti. Because, when Krishna was being held in the coils of the Kaliya serpent, at that time all the Brijbasis, they wanted to enter the poisonous lake. But who stopped them? Balaram Prabhu. Huh? He held them back. He said, stop, where are you going? He said, don't you remember what Gargacharya said in the name-giving ceremony of Krishna in the Goshala in Gokul? At that, what did he say? Gargacharya said, Anena sarva durgani yuyam anjastarisyata. Gargacharya said, O Nanda Maharaj, by the influence of this boy, you will cross over all obstacles. So Balaram reminded them all. By the influence of this boy, everyone will cross over all obstacles. So don't think that he's in danger. Just wait, be patient. And he told them, look, if you enter the water now, what will happen? This water is poisonous and you'll all die. Then when Krishna escapes, because he will, Gargacharya predicted it, then who will take care of him? Who will look after him? Who will raise him if you all die now? So in this way, Balaram tried to speak some sense into Nanda and Yashoda and Upananda, Abhinanda, all the senior relatives of Krishna in Braja. And by his words, they became a little bit steady and they didn't enter into the water. So here we see one situation where Krishna was swallowed and Balaram was completely covered over and he fainted. And here's another situation where Balaram could have been covered over. But because all the Brijbasis were entering in the water and someone had to stop them, so then by the Leela Shakti allowed him to understand the situation so he could stop all the parents and seniors of Krishna entering into the poisonous water. So it's not fixed. Balaram has all strength or he doesn't have all strength. He knows everything or he doesn't know everything. Like that. It's not fixed. It depends on what? The Leela. The rasa of the Leela. How will the rasa, the highest rasa, be accomplished? Either by being covered or uncovered or partially uncovered. So Yoga Maya will act like that, or Prem will act like that, to cover or uncover Balaram in order to manifest the maximum amount of rasa. Therefore the Vedas say, Taittiriya Upanishad, Raso Vaisa Rasami Vayam Labdhanandhi Bhavati. The supreme truth is rasa, and when one attains that rasa, it becomes fully joyful. So another example is when Krishna received a letter sent by Rukmini through a Brahmin, come and save me. And Krishna secretly just ran away from Dwarka And he went there to kidnap Rukmini without telling anyone. Then when the Yadus found out the news that Krishna had arrived in Kundina, in Vidarbha, so then they thought, what to do? And Balaram was angry. Why didn't he tell me? And what is he doing? If he goes to steal some princess and fight with some princes, then it will be a cause of war. Then there'll be a big war. And he didn't consult with anyone, didn't consult with me. So then Balaram, all the Yadus are thinking, what will we do? But only Balaram, he just said, without waiting, he said, I'm going. And he got on a chariot, took some soldiers with him, and he went there. So Jiva Goswami specifically comments that because the Yadus are not Brijbasis, they don't have such strong natural love. They know that Krishna is Bhagavan. Mainly they know. So if he will go, so what? Nothing will happen. But because Balaram is a Brijbasi, he grew up with Krishna in Braja, and he has Swabhavik Prem. Therefore, when he got the news, he was worried and thought, I have to go there with some backup to make sure nothing drastic happens. So here's an example. And even Srila Vishnu Thakur, he compares Balaram going to Kundina with Balaram fainting when Krishna was swallowed by Bakasura. These are similar situations, because in both situations, Balaram's knowledge was covered by his love. Very sweet. Very sweet. This is what Balaram Punim today. This is what we have. We want to taste how sweet is Balaram's love for Krishna. Also, it is said that when Krishna had lifted Govardhan for 7 days and nights, and then finally when the rain stopped, Krishna told everyone to come out from under Govardhan hill. Then Krishna, he put down Giriraj Govardhan. And he came out from under the hill. Then at that time, Shukadeva Goswami said, Yashoda Rohini Nando Ramascha Balinabara Krishnam Malingya Jujuhur Ashisha Sneyakataraha. The meaning is, when Krishna came out from under the hill, he was a great hero, right? He just saved everyone. All the Brijbasis were going to be destroyed, drowned, blown up by thunderbolts, and die a horrible death by the atrocities of Indra. But one 7-year-old boy, he just lifted a mountain and gave everyone shelter for 7 days. So when that was over, Krishna was the great hero. And they all surrounded him, all overwhelmed with love. The elderly persons were coming and blessing him and putting the Didrikshatak Bi Yoyo Sadashisha. They were putting rice paddy on his head, and blessing him. It's a Vedic custom. So at that time, Madhya Yashoda, Rohini, Nando. Madhya Yashoda embraced him. Rohini embraced him. Nanda Maharaj embraced him. It was a group hug. Group hugs. And Balaram also embraced him. Ramascha Balinambara. And all of them, Ashishasnayakat, they were feeling, it was just painful. Because they thought, when you're young, if you lift heavy weights, when you're old, you'll have a bad back. Right? It's a fact. Is that correct? Who injured themselves when they were young? Huh? You still are young, what are you saying? Don't injure yourself, otherwise when you're older you'll find out. So if people lift very heavy weights when they're older, they have so much pain. So Krishna just lifted Govardhan for 7 days and nights. Madhya Yashoda was kissing his hand and massaging him. Are you all right? Krishna said, yes, mother, I'm fine. You're fine now, but what happens when you get older? Huh? Huh? When you get older, then you might not be feeling it today, but you'll be feeling it later. Madhya Yashoda was saying this. And they're all embracing him. And Sneha Katra, their Sneha, their affection for him. And Sneha is very, very prominent when there's some Vatsalya, parental mood, concern. Their concern for him was so intense, it was painful. So it's mentioned here, Ramascha Balinabara, and Ram also, Balinabara, even though he's the best of the strong. That means he has Jnana Shakti. He knows that Krishna is God. But still, he was feeling tortured by the prospect that maybe Krishna is not okay and what will happen to him in the future. So this is the astonishing Prem of Balaram Prabhu. Balaram was with Krishna one day. They were walking, just south of Mathura. And the boy said, "Oh, Rama, Rama, Mahabaho. Oh, Ram, you have strong arms. Save us from a demon." What demon? He said, "The demon of hunger. We are very hungry and we can smell on the breeze the delicious fragrance of palm fruits, tal fruits. So, why don't we go there and we can eat the palm fruits?" So actually the boys were not hungry so much, but they thought that Krishna was hungry. And so that's the nature of Braja Rasa. Nothing is expressed directly, everything is expressed indirectly. So on the pretext of themselves being hungry, they were trying to arrange for Krishna to taste those tal fruits. So, but some of the boys, they said, "Oh, Krishna, Balaram, there's one problem, that the forest of delicious tal fruits is guarded by some servants of Kamsa Maharaj, led by a demon, Denakasur, he's a mystic yogi, he's very powerful, but by his mystic power, he's assumed the form of a huge ass, a donkey. So he's protecting the tal fruits." When Krishna and Balaram heard this, they laughed. A donkey? How strong can a donkey be? Yeah, if someone has some wealth, something valuable, right? They bring a security guard, right? They don't bring a donkey. "Don't worry, I'll just leave my donkey here, he'll protect everything." So when the boy said, "And the tal fruits are protected by a donkey," Krishna and Balaram were laughing. It's like, protected by a donkey? How strong can he be? So they said, "Come on, let's go." And all the boys singing and dancing happily, they went through the forest and they were marching off in the direction of Talvan. So when they arrived there, they couldn't see any donkeys. But they saw the tal fruits. And Balaram himself grabbed the trunk of one of the trees and very powerfully, with his strong arms, began to shake it. And the tal fruits were dop, dop, dop. They were falling and hitting the ground. But Denakasura and his demonic associates, they were nearby. And they heard the sound, dop, dop, dop. And they thought, "Oh, someone's coming to steal Kamsa Maharaj's fruits. We have to protect them." And so, braying loudly. Who can bray like Denakasura? Okay. That's it. Exactly like that. It always comes in handy having a professional actor sitting next to you for sound effects during the guitar. He can do it. Helicopters, cars, aeroplanes, donkey demons. Thank you. So Denakasura and his cohorts, they were braying loudly and they were galloping. They galloped there. And when Denakasura saw Balaram shaking the tree, so then he turned around. He turned his back on Balaram because donkeys kick with their hind legs. And then with his hind legs he kicked Balaram in the chest very hard. But for Balaram it was nothing, like being struck with a flower. And then after kicking him, he began to jump around and run around him, braying loudly. So then he thought, "Oh, I'll try to kick him again." So again, turned his back on Balaram. So Balaram is Guru-Tattva. That means don't turn your back on Gurudev. Demon means a person who turns their back on Gurudev. They ignore Gurudev. They ignore his words, his instructions, his glories, his service. And then what's the result? Now you'll find out. So then when Denakasura turned his back on Balaram, then this time Balaram grabbed him by the hind legs and spun him around so fast. People think that when he threw him and he landed, he died. No, he died from the speed, from the centrifugal force. Like that. And from the speed of being spun around, he died. And then Balaram let go, and he landed on the top of a tree, and that tree broke and hit the next tree, and that tree broke, and like dominoes, boom, 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 boom. All the trees fell down. Not all, there was still some left. And Denakasur was dead. When his friends saw that, they also attacked. And all these donkeys were rushing out from the forest, one after another. And Krishna and Balaram were there, and they were catching them and throwing them this direction and that direction. All the boys were watching. Go for it, Balaram. Jai Kanai. Jai Balaram. And they were experiencing what they wanted to experience, actually. That's why in the beginning they said, oh, Rama, Rama, Maha. Oh, Balaram, who has strong arms. Nearby, because they wanted to see some action also. And they know Krishna and Balaram, they like fighting. So then after a short time, all the donkeys were dead. Their broken bodies were on the top of broken trees. And when they died, they passed stool and urine. Their eyeballs popped out. So then, the boys and Krishna and Balaram, they looked at the tal fruits and they felt like, oh, we lost our appetite. So in this way, Denakasur was killed. Denakasur is the embodiment of avidya. Avidya, ignorance. Agyan. And he was killed by Balaram. The significance is that our avidya, our ignorance. You know what is avidya? Avidya is that which makes the conjunction between your consciousness and the ahankar, the material energy. That which makes the samyog, the union of the consciousness with the contaminated chitta, ahankar, is called avidya. So this will never go. You cannot uncouple your consciousness from the material consciousness. You see, the chitta is actually not conscious. It's just very highly sattvic. And contaminated consciousness is called ahankar, ego. So we have had avidya, anadya vidya yuktasya, purushasatma vedanam. Swataha, swato va sambhavad anyas tattva gyanado bhavet. Very important verse spoken by Krishna to Uddhav. Here Krishna is saying, anadya vidya yuktasya purushasatma vedanam. The Atma, the Purush, the soul, is yukta, united with avidya, anadi, which has no beginning. Anadya vidya yuktasya purushasatma vedanam. So he cannot atma vedanam. Vedanam means know, atma himself. Any soul cannot know himself because of being united with avidya, which has no beginning. Swato means by him. Swato na sambhavad means not possible. Na sambhavad means not possible. Swato by himself. So it is not possible for a soul to know himself by himself, because he is united with avidya, ignorance with no beginning. So the logic of this, if you hear it, at first it sounds like that's not an explanation. But the logic of this is that because the avidya, the ignorance of the living entity, has no beginning, therefore it doesn't have an original cause. Go back. How long has the soul been in avidya? Go back 10 years, 20 years, last life, previous life, life before that, million lives, billion lives. There's no beginning. And so because there is no temporal cause of the avidya, therefore there's no temporal activity that you can do to get rid of it. This is the point. Because it's a causeless avidya, there's nothing you can do to take it away. But Here it said, Swato na sambhavad anyas. Therefore, there must be another person, anyas, tattvagyo jnanado bhavet. If we are to attain knowledge, there must be another person who is tattvagya, who knows the truth, and tattvado. Tattvagyo and tattvado. One who knows the truth and one who can give it to you. So, all the living entities in this world are in avidya. Then who's the other person who's going to give it to them? Paramatma. Paramatma. So in every heart there are two Atmas, Atma and Paramatma. Only the Paramatma can, the Super Soul can give it. However, the Super Soul is neutral. But that Super Soul in our heart manifests in front of our eyes in the form of Gurudev. And so when we serve the spiritual master and hear from him, gradually, then the Tattvagya, one who knows the truth, becomes Tattvado. He gives the truth. And there's no other way. Because the avidya is anadi. Without beginning, there's no way any individual by himself can remove it. Therefore, there must be another person who is in knowledge who can give that knowledge to us. So the original person who was in knowledge, of course, is Krishna himself. He imparts that knowledge to Brahma. Brahma imparts that knowledge to Narad, Narad to Vyas, Vyas to Madhvacharya, and it comes down in Guru Parampara. And when that our avidya has been dispelled by knowledge given by our Guru, then you can also dispel the knowledge of the next person, next generation, like that. So this verse explains why we cannot become enlightened without Guru, and also explains how one who becomes enlightened can impart that. In other words, this is Guru Tattva and the Tattva of Guru Parampara. This is spoken by Krishna to Uddhav in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the significance here that Balaram killed Dhenukasura is that no living entity can free himself from Dhenukasura, avidya, ignorance. But Balaram, that means the Akhanda Guru Tattva can do it. So, Krishna's Leela was going on. Bakasura failed. Dhenukasura failed. One demon was sent by Kamsa Maharaj, Pralambasura. Pralambasura. So Pralambasura, he was also a mystic yogi. His form was huge. He was enormous like a mountain and dressed in so many shining golden ornaments. But by his mystic power, he disguised his form and became like a small cowherd boy. And he entered into the group of Krishna and Balaram, and the boys are playing every day in the forest. What to speak of that? Even demigods like Narad and Lord Shiva, they also take forms of cowherd boys and try to join in the games. And they want to see, because it's so wonderful, it's so much fun. And Kishore, can you hear at the back? Yes, okay. Try to be Sthita Pragya, just for 10 more minutes. So, one day, this demon came into the group, and at that time, Krishna immediately noticed, who is this boy? But, by Krishna's desire, anyone else didn't know. Even Balaram did not know. He said, Ekaleshwar Krishna arsa babritya, yare yaichaitay nachai setaiche kare nritya. Only Krishna is the Parameshwara, Supreme Lord, and everyone else is his servant, including his own first expansion, Balaram. And therefore, everyone dances according to Krishna's tune. Of course, Krishna dances according to Radharani's tune, but that is Rasa Tattva. But from Tattva Vichar, Krishna is in charge of everything, and everyone else is his servant, and everyone knows or does not know according to his desire. So even Balaram didn't know. So then, the boys decided, let's play a game. We'll split into two teams, Krishna's team and Balaram's team. And we'll have a competition, and whoever loses, they'll have to carry the winners on their shoulders. So, Pralambasur joined Krishna's team. Sridham was on Balaram's team. So they were fighting with each other, and Sridham defeated Krishna. And Balaram defeated Pralambasur. But that was all part of Pralambasur's plan. Because he thought, at first I should get Balaram very far away from Krishna, and then I'll kill Krishna. So, the losing team, they were carrying the winners on their shoulders. So Krishna was carrying Sridham on his shoulders. And Pralambasur was carrying Balaram on his shoulders. You just see the beauty of Brajamandal. In Vaikuntha, Krishna, or in Dwarka even, Krishna is always riding on the shoulders of Garuda. If he wants to go anywhere, Garuda is carrying him. But who is Garuda? Garuda is the expansion of Sridham in Braja. So in Braja, instead of Garuda carrying Krishna on his shoulders, but Krishna is carrying Garuda on his shoulders in the form of Sridham. There's a Garuda Govind is there in Braja. So Krishna was carrying Sridham and Pralambasur was carrying Balaram. And they had to carry them to a particular place. It was a fixed place. They didn't have to carry them all day. When we arrive at that place, then you can change. But when they arrived at that place, Pralambasur kept running. And he ran into the forest. And Balaram was thinking, what's happening? And as he got further and further away, then Pralambasur, then he stopped remembering the mantra by which he was maintaining a cowboy form. And he manifested his youth form, and he grew bigger and bigger and bigger until Balaram was feeling himself going up and up into the clouds. Then Balaram thought, what's going on? And he was afraid. One minute he was on the shoulder of a boy, the next minute he was up in the clouds on the back of a big demon. So Krishna was laughing. Why? Because Krishna, by his desire, wanted to play a trick on Balaram. It was Krishna's desire that Balaram wouldn't know that this was a demon. So because Krishna didn't want Balaram to know, then when Balaram shot up into the sky and was being taken away, Balaram was afraid because he didn't know it was a demon, and even Balaram didn't know that he was Bhagavan also. So Krishna wanted to, it was spring a surprise on Balaram. So then once the surprise came and Balaram became afraid, then Krishna, only by his desire, he wanted Balaram to know that he was Bhagavan. So, to relish the ras, Bhayanak ras, the ras of fear, and astonishment, and fear, and these various rasas, then Krishna wanted Balaram to be covered. And when Balaram had that shock of his life, and became afraid, then suddenly, by Krishna's desire, Balaram realized, this is not a big problem for me, I'm Bhagavan. And then Balaram took his fist and smashed the head of Pralambasur with one blow, just as Indra smashes a mountain to powder and paste with his thunderbolt weapon. So in the same way, splat! The head of Pralambasur was smashed apart by the fist of Balaram, and he fell down from the sky. And then Balaram got off him, and all the boys surrounded Balaram and they cheered, Sadhu, Sadhu, well done Balaram, well done. Good punch. Because they punch each other, they fight with each other. Yeah. So, Pralambasur represents deceit, duplicity. Raja? You can, maybe in one commentary. But Pralamba especially represents deceit, deceitfulness, crookedness. And so, it's very difficult to get rid of crookedness from the heart, duplicity. Do you know why? Because duplicity is the consort of the desire for pratishtha. The desire for pratishtha, for name and fame, respect and the honor of others, is like one dog-eating prostitute. Pratishtha sadrishta swapachara ramani meiridit. And that dog-eating prostitute never gives up her illicit, her paramour. And that is the pralamba, duplicity. And so, as long as that desire for pratishtha is in the heart, you cannot give up duplicity. It's not possible. And so that desire for Pratishtha only goes away when you offload all the Pratishtha to your Guru Parampara. That means that you recognize that every quality that you have, every success that you have, everything that you do that anyone else would possibly respect or honor isn't yours, but it only came by the mercy of your Gurudev. Therefore we say, Sri Sri Guru Gaurango Jayataha. Oh, glories to Guru and Gauranga. Yogyata vichari kichu nahi pai tomara karunasa. Oh Gurudev, when I examine myself, I find that I have no good qualities at all. Therefore your mercy is essential for me. You may see as you are following the path of bhakti, some honor will come. People may give pranams to you, pranami to you, may give you a garland, bow down, they want to serve you. May happen. As you progress in spiritual life, it's bound to happen, must happen. But you have to remember that before you became a devotee, did anyone bow down to you? Before you became a devotee, did anyone give you garlands? No. Then whose quality is it? Your quality or Gurudev's mercy? Everything is Gurudev's mercy. So, one should always engage in service of Gurudev and senior Vaishnavas. And whatever honor is coming, it is their honor. Pass it on to them. And then, by doing this, this is the sign that there's no desire for Pratishtha for oneself. And when Pratishtha is gone, then the duplicity will go, and so on. And therefore, Balarama has killed Pralambasura. So that is a very beautiful illustration. How Balaram relishes Ras in Braja. The astonishment, the fear. And then, when the knowledge came, some heroism also, like this. But it was dependent on Krishna's desire. It was not dependent on his own independent desire. That's why we are really the Advaitavadis, you know. Those who say we are Advaitavadis, they're not actual Advaitavadis. Because Advaita means no Advaita, no second thing. In other words, there is no Swatantra Vastu, there is no substance which is independent of Krishna. So one who believes that though there are many varieties of phenomena, many varieties of conscious beings, but not one aspect of existence is Swatantra, independent. There is no Swatantra Vastu, then that person is a real believer in Advaita. No second independent entity. That's the actual meaning of Advaita. Vadanti tat bhavidas tattvadyat jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti. That's why he's called Advaita Acharya. So Advaita is, the impersonalists are not real followers of Advaita. They're only in ignorance. They are followers of Dhenukasura, actually. Not actually Advaita. So in this way, in the pastimes of Balaram, there is so much rasa tattva, and also the teachings, practical teachings for us. So we are just beginning, just getting a little bit warm. More pastimes, beautiful pastimes, and of the love between Krishna and Balaram we'll discuss tomorrow morning. Oh, I want to tell one more thing. Today is called the Raksha Bandhan also. Today is the day when the sisters go to their brothers and tie a rakhi on their arm and ask for protection. And on this day, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, he has said, Bratra go yutamatra manja badane snehena dattvalayam Sridamna kutilam pratoshan Sridamna kripanam pratosha jatilam rakshakya rakakshane Nitaya sukashoka rodana baraiste sandravantya param Vatsal yaj janako vadasyati ta Kim lalanam me grata. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, when will I be Rati Manjari? And on this day, the full moon day in the Shravan season, Radharani is staying in Javat. And she's crying because all her friends in the village, their brothers came and took them back to their mother's house, away from their marital home, the mother-in-law's home. But she's waiting and her brother Sridham didn't come. But on this day, riding on a horse, with servants carrying palanquins and with 10,000 cows, suddenly he arrived there in Javat. And Radhika is so happy to see her brother and crying. She says, "Oh brother, why did you come late? Did you forget about me?" And he's ready to take her. But Jatila, she's a Kripana. Sridham na Kripanam pratosya Jatilam. So she doesn't want to let Radharani go. So Sridham knew this. So he bought 10,000 cows and says, "Oh Jatila, I have a gift for you." And gave 10,000 cows. Then she said, "Okay, you can take your sister." She can swap Radhika for 10,000 cows. That's Jatila. So there, Radhika sits on a palanquin, and her intimate maidservants like Rupa Manjari and Rati Manjari, they sit there with her as well. And the servants are carrying them in a procession back to Varsana. And she gets to meet with her mother and father again after a long time since her wedding. And Brishabhanu Maharaj and Kirtidamaya, they come out from the palace. And when Radhika steps down from the palanquin and gives pranam at their feet, they pick her up and embrace her. Kim lalanam megrata, when will I see Brishabhanu Maharaj and Kirtitamaya, lovingly fondling their daughter. And Radhika's crying. Nitaya shukashoka rodana barai sandra Jai sandravantya param. Radhika's crying hot and cold tears of joy that she's back at home in Varsana, and hot tears of separation that the simplicity of her childhood is gone forever. And now, after the visit to her parents' house, she'll have to return and stay with that dysfunctional, crazy family, Jutila, Kutila, Durmad, Abhimanyu. So when will I see that festival of beautiful emotions? And Radharani's mother will say, "Alas, alas, why did Vidata, Providence, Lord Brahma, the Creator, create this world in which there's such a difficult life for mothers and daughters?" You see, for mothers and sons it's not so bad. Because if you're a mother and you have a son, your son gets married, his wife will come and live with you. But for mothers and daughters, very difficult. Because then when she's married, she'll have to go and live with the in-laws. So she was lamenting, "Oh Vedanta, why did you create the world in this way? To make the dharma of mother and daughter so difficult." Radharani was crying and said, "Oh mother, just forget about me." Then they took her in the house. And she met with her friends, because the friends that she grew up with in her village, they've all come back to the village. And in this season, Radha and Krishna, they can easily meet, because this is the rainy season, and the gopis make swings, and the girls of the villages, they sit with their friends and they swing, and all their cares and worries go far away. So at this time we celebrate Jhulan-Yatra, so we have celebrated it there at Shwaibanaup, and today is the last day of Jhulan-Yatra. So this day is Baladev Purnima, Jhulan-Yatra, and also Rakshabandhan Day. So when Radha and Krishna come together and sit upon a swing, then their Sakhis surround them, and they sing in Malhar Rag. Malhar Rag is a rag which causes the clouds to release the very fine droplets of rain like a mist. And then this mist, it saturates the clothing of Brajagopis. And at that time their clothing becomes somewhat transparent also. So their beauty is peeping out, and they are singing in beautiful ragas, and Radha Krishna sit together on the swing. And by this Jhulan Leela, swinging pastimes, all of Krishna's desires become fulfilled. At the time of swinging together with Krishna, speaking sweet words to each other, looking into each other's eyes, Radhika's Madanakya Mahabhav is manifest. And so this is the most beautiful Leela, most beautiful pastime. I hope that this week most of you had the chance to serve Radha Krishna in this Jhulan Leela. That is the significance of this wonderful day. Now it's late, we'll complete our Harikatha here, we'll sing one Kirtan, then all devotees please take rest and come. Mangalati will be here on this platform here, yeah. What time?
7 o'clock.
Okay. So tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, Mangalati here is a little bit late because the facilities, bathrooms and everything is small and devotees are many. So if everyone would come to Mangalati at 4:30, they'd have to start showering now. So Mangalati will be at the most auspicious and merciful time. So please come here by that time for Mangalati, and then we'll sit and chant japa together. Then breakfast will be served, and after breakfast we'll continue with the glories of Balaram Prabhu in the morning, perhaps in the evening as well. Balaram Prabhu ki jai, Dau Bhaiya ki jai, Akhanda Guru Tattva Sri Balabhadra ki jai, Gaur Premanande. So it's late. If you have a question, I want to answer, but please just note it down and ask tomorrow, okay? Because we don't want to go to bed too late. Krishna Kadaya